Hello, my name is Rob Doyle, and this is me as a learner for DL5013, the digital learner. So I'm going to just take you through a quick Prezi, which is the digital presentation tool that I used for the assignment to kind of walk you through as to who I am and kind of how I learned best, and last, but not least, what I hope to get from this class. So let's begin. Present. Come on. Sorry about that. So who I am, Rob Doyle. I went to Ramapo College in New Jersey. I teach at a public school in New Jersey. I actually teach eighth grade social studies. So right now our content is the American Revolution. So that is, definitely something kids can get engaged into. And I coach baseball and wrestling in the school district where I teach, which I believe helps me as a teacher. And you'll see as to why a little later on in the presentation. So the next one is how I learn best. So I have three different ways that kind of how I feel like I learn the best. The first one is by working through my mistakes. You can't learn from mistakes without making them. And when you assess an issue, there are various, times you can reevaluate said issue. And you could look at it from different vantage points and kind of different breakdowns and go, okay, am I on the right track? And is this the most efficient way to handle this problem? So, working through, maybe not mistakes too, maybe working through the problem on my own, kind of jumping into it and seeing, which way works best for me. The next way is by being physically involved. And this is where the coaching, I think, aspect comes into it a little bit more, where, my example here is it's hard to explain how to teach a curveball without working in a physical manner. So you can show the kid, videos, or you can show them the proper grip, or the history of a curveball or whatever. But until an athlete throws a curveball, they don't exactly know what to do. So that physical kind of getting into it and learning from a fundamental standpoint, I like getting into that regard. And it can be used in teaching argumentative skills, right? You can talk about debates, you can have these discussions, but until a student kind of gets into it and finds a pace and a pulse and a rhythm in an argument, they'll never be able to mirror it from notes. And last but not least is collaboration. So, two minds work better than one, especially if they think differently. So, we have the Bloom's taxonomy, you have Gardner's multiple intelligences, you have all those fancy buzzwords, but I think there's definitely some authenticity behind those. So some people may be logical learners or visual learners or that kind of stuff, or physical learners, where if you work together with people, they may have different vantage points, or they may see something that you don't see. I think that's definitely a good way to handle life, especially as it reflects a lot of real world applications. I mean, how many people in the professional or in the public or private world work by themselves all the time? Very seldom. So I think that too, it helps with interpersonal skills as well. And the last thing, what I hope to get from this class. So there was two things that I came to mind when making this presentation. The first one is better insight on kind of how students learn, right? They're constantly immersed in a technological world. I'm only 25, so I'm kind of, sometimes sided with them. But I think they're way more immersed in technology than I am. I didn't have a cell phone until I was a freshman in high school, where they have it when they're 10, and I think they're just way more immersed in it than I ever was. So I kind of have to be willing to go along with technology, and try not to have as much trouble navigating that technological world that they're already immersed in. I kind of have to jump head in if I want to swim with them, so to speak. And last but not least, kind of improving my comfort level and open-mindedness. There is such a plethora of technology and educational tools and apps and the whole nine yards out in the world today. So if you're closed-minded on what works and what doesn't, then you're kind of, tying yourself up a little bit with, the way students learn in various manners and whatnot. So I think if you're willing to kind of work with them and kind of help, work together and using various technological, applications or tools or what have you, skill sets, then it's a much more conducive environment for learning. So that is me, Rob Doyle, as a learner. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and thank you.